Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you love captivating stories about men transforming into women in unique and fascinating ways, then be sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Now, let's jump right into today's tale.
Chapter 3. The Transformation begins. Naruto lay flat on the cold examination table in Tsunade's private medical lab, staring up at the blindingly bright ceiling lights. His orange jacket and black pants were discarded in a heap on the floor, replaced by a plain hospital gown that was one size too small and rode up awkwardly around his thighs. To make matters worse, the room smelled like antiseptic, a scent he'd always associated with pain and needles, and it was making him twitchy. "This is the worst idea you've ever had," Naruto grumbled, folding his arms stubbornly over his chest. "And coming from you, Granny, that's saying something." Tsunade, who was busy preparing her medical tools on a nearby tray, didn't even bother looking at him. "Stop whining, Naruto. You agreed to this." "Yeah. But I didn't think you'd start by putting me in this stupid dress." He tugged at the hem of the gown, his face red. "It's drafty." "It's a medical gown, not a dress," Tsunade said, her tone dripping with irritation. "And if you complain one more time, I'll make you wear something even smaller." Naruto gulped, and wisely kept his mouth shut. Across the room, Shizune stifled a giggle as she double-checked a stack of scrolls containing the intricate medical formulas they'd need for the procedure. Even Sakura, who stood nearby with her arms crossed, was biting her lip to keep from laughing. "Don't encourage him," Tsunade muttered, shooting both women a warning glance. Then she turned to Naruto, her expression all business. "All right, listen up. This is going to be a long and complicated process. The medical ninjutsu I'm about to use is far more advanced than anything you've experienced before. It's not just cosmetic, it's biological. By the time I'm done, every cell in your body will be indistinguishable from Samui's." Naruto's eyes widened. "Wait, every cell? Like, all of them? Even?" "Yes, even that," Tsunade interrupted, her voice flat. "You're becoming a perfect replica, Naruto. That means no shortcuts?" Naruto groaned and slapped a hand over his face. "Oh man, this is gonna be so weird. Trust me, it'll be even weirder for me." Tsunade shot back, grabbing her chakra scalpel. "Now hold still." As Tsunade began the first phase of the procedure, Naruto felt a strange warmth spread through his body. It wasn't painful, exactly. More like an intense tingling sensation, as though his skin were being rewritten one layer at a time. He squirmed instinctively, but Tsunade's glare rooted him to the table. "Stop moving," she ordered. "I need absolute precision for this." "What are you even doing right now?" Naruto asked, trying to distract himself from the bizarre sensation crawling over his skin. "I'm starting with your bone structure," Tsunade explained, her eyes glowing faintly as her chakra flowed into him. "Samui is taller than you, but her frame is slimmer. I'm reshaping your skeleton to match hers." Naruto blanched. You're messing with my bones? Are you sure they'll go back to normal after this?" "They will, if you survive the mission," Tsunade said with a faint smirk. "That's not funny, Granny." Jiraiya chose that moment to saunter into the room, his hands tucked casually into his sleeve. "How's it going in here? Is our little Naruto turning into a swan yet?" "Get out, Jiraiya," Tsunade snapped without looking up. "You're not supposed to be here." "Oh, come on," Jiraiya said, grinning. "I'm just here for moral support." Naruto glared at him. "If you're here to make fun of me, I swear I'll..." "You'll what?" Jiraiya teased, leaning against the wall. Throw a kunai at me with your dainty little hands. Naruto's face turned red, partly from embarrassment and partly from rage. I don't have dainty hands. Not yet, Jiraiya said, winking. Give it a few weeks. Tsunade sighed heavily and shot Jiraiya a murderous look. If you don't leave right now, I'll test this procedure on you next. Jiraiya held up his hands in surrender. All right, I'm going. But for the record, I think Naruto's going to make a lovely kunoichi. Out! Tsunade roared, and Jiraiya disappeared in a puff of smoke, laughing all the way. Naruto groaned and buried his face in his hands. Why me? Because you're the only one stubborn enough to survive this, Tsunade said dryly. Now focus. This is just the beginning. The first week. By the end of the first week, Naruto was starting to see and feel the changes in his body. His hands, once rough and calloused from years of training, were now smaller and smoother. His skin, which had always been a little sunburned from his time outdoors, had become soft and pale. Even his face was beginning to shift, his jawline softening and his cheekbones becoming more prominent. It was unsettling, to say the least. Ooh, Naruto muttered, staring at himself in the mirror in Tsunade's lab. I look like some weird, half-finished version of myself. You look fine, Sakura said, rolling her eyes as she handed him a towel. Stop being so dramatic. I'm not dramatic, Naruto shot back. My face feels like it doesn't even belong to me anymore. And my hands, look at them. They're so dainty. Shitsune chuckled from across the room. You'll get used to it. I don't want to get used to it. Naruto groaned, flopping onto the nearest chair. How am I supposed to fight like this? What if I break a nail or something? Sakura smirked. Then, you'll finally understand what it's like for the rest of us. Naruto glared at her. Not funny. Actually, it's a little funny, Sakura said, crossing her arms. But, seriously, Naruto, you're doing great. I know this isn't easy for you. But it's important. You're doing something no one else could. Naruto's expression softened, and he looked down at his hands again. Well? Yeah, I know. It's just weird, you know. I don't even feel like myself anymore. That's kind of the point, Tsunade said, as she walked into the room, wiping her hands on a towel. The more you feel like someone else, the easier it'll be to sell the disguise. Naruto sighed. I guess. Good. Now quit whining and get back on the table. We're moving on to Phase 2. Phase 2. The voice. The second phase of the transformation involved altering Naruto's voice to match Samui's calm, measured tone. This, as it turned out, was even harder than changing his body. Focus, Naruto, Tsunade said, pinching the bridge of her nose in frustration. You need to lower your pitch. Samui doesn't yell like an angry rooster. I'm not yelling like a rooster, Naruto shouted, his voice cracking midway through. This is just how I talk. Not anymore, Tsunade muttered. Shitsune, bring me the throat chakra stimulant. Naruto's eyes widened. The what now? Don't worry, Shitsune said cheerfully. It'll just tingle a little. Naruto gulped as Shitsune handed Tsunade a glowing vial of blue liquid. Define a little. The challenges continue. Over the next few weeks, Naruto's transformation continued at a painstakingly slow pace. His hair grew longer, his walk became more graceful. thanks to hours of Sakura drilling him on posture, and his voice finally settled into a smooth feminine tone. But, for every small victory, there were plenty of awkward and hilarious moments along the way. Like the time Jiraiya snuck into the lab and nearly got a kunai to the face when he called Naruto Konoha's newest beauty queen. Or the time Naruto tried to practice walking in Samui's high-heeled sandals and ended up flat on his face. But despite the embarrassment, the teasing, and the sheer weirdness of the situation, Naruto pushed through. Because deep down, he knew this mission wasn't about him. It was about Konoha. And if he had to become someone else to protect the people he loved, then so be it. Even if it meant learning how to walk in heels.